In a few moments, one of my favorite people, Teddy, will be here. We're going on an adventure. I'll let him tell you about where we're going, and I will document some of the journey today. We will have uplifting, encouraging conversation, maybe talk a little strategy for business, maybe more about life and family. Who knows? But there's a special cause we're going to bring some attention to on the hike today as well. Lots of fun stuff to talk about, and there'll be lots of beautiful scenery that we'll share with you. Not used to using this thing in the dark. I'm just noticing that the buttons don't light up, so this headlamp is savior.
Could go either La Perouse or 13 Crossings or
Yeah.
Maui Forest.
Yeah. I mean, if we go to 13 Crossings, we're gonna be right by the Ridge Trail.
Which is also going to be super cloudy.
Oh yeah, same. It'll be
So you
same.
get the same cover.
Okay. And you think
I think
the forest or La Perouse?
I think La Perouse is a good call.
Let's do it.
Cruising. So Teddy, what was the spot we were originally going to hit called?
We're going to go to the windmills,
We're going to go to Windmills, all right.
but a little too cloudy, so we're heading to La Perouse.
Here we go. Check it out.
Got a beautiful sunrise. Change of plans. So Teddy, we originally wanted to get a climb in. This walk is going to be a little flat, but we're gonna get a climb in on the way out. And part of what we're doing today is to bring awareness to 46 climbs. 46 climbs. I believe it's happening September 4th to the 13th. It's definitely mid-September, and scheduling some type of summit. But Teddy, if you could tell us about 46 climbs.
Yeah, so 46 Climbs is basically it's a foundation that's raising awareness for mental health and suicide prevention. So we're just encouraging people to get out in nature, climb a mountain, and think about how mental health issues can really affect people's lives, and how it's sort of stigmatized, and anything we can do to bring awareness to it can help people's lives, can save people's lives.
Thank you. And it's super meaningful to me. My wife's brother, Jacob, passed, and mental health and suicide and things like that are something that have impacted our family, and I've seen how it impacts the lives of everyone around that person who could be having some challenges. So just wanted to share that on my end. So if anyone ever wants to connect or talk, I've connected with people and talked with people who have been through things like this, and family members, and same for my wife. And Teddy, thanks for telling me about this.
Absolutely. And one of my good friends passed away recently too, and that's one of those things where I would just encourage people to talk about what you have going on in your own life. Mm-hmm. And that can encourage people to open up and talk to you about what they have going on in their life. And it is, like I said, there's a stigma around it. We don't want to tell people what we're dealing with, because it makes people think differently of us.
Yeah.
So to be able to open up to others, oftentimes we'll get them to open up to you and tell them things that you didn't know were going on in their lives, and can be really, really helpful.
Yeah, I specifically been revisiting some of those patterns I have, because I want to be there for people, appropriately and whenever, I don't want to come off as like a replacement for any type of professional help that people need. Like, that's super important. But like, I want to be someone who people feel comfortable with if they need help, that, I can hear them out or be there for them in the capacity I can to maybe help them get more help that's, more appropriate. And yeah, I definitely am. I'm not bothered by much. So it's like sometimes whenever I'm connecting with people and I focus on what's positive, but I'm trying to do a better point of sharing like things I'm working through or something, like, even though it's not taking up a big part of my awareness or consciousness, because maybe I'm choosing not to, or other things are bigger for me. But just sharing those things too, because I do want to create a safe space for people. So the way that you put it has been something I've been working on.
Yeah.
Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah, I try to be like the least judgmental human I can be. I feel like it's like, shoot, I don't know. Julia and I have gone to couples therapy. And, from an outside perspective, probably looks like we have a pretty great relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But it's something that we still think about and we want to work on. And I think for some people, taking that step to do something like that is almost like admitting that there's something wrong.
Yeah.
And it's okay to admit that things are wrong.
Yeah.
Because if we don't admit things are wrong, then we're never going to be able to make them better.
Yeah. Jan and I have been in the couples therapy too.
Yeah.
And we go in different seasons of life. Sometimes we'll go just because we know there's things going on in our life that are, very dynamic, and there's a lot in our future. We're going to be really busy. There's a lot going on. We'll start going preemptive, like, hey, let's go, because we don't want to, like, maybe something does come up where we need therapy and it's more acute or like emergency type vibes, and the person we're not comfortable with, and they don't really know us over time. So we actually just decided to go like, hey, let's just start going.
Smart, dude.
And now we have a relationship with a therapist, and we can go in person when we want, and when we're not in person, we can just decide to book, and we'll go for, every 2 weeks for a little while, and then we won't for months, and then we'll go every month for a while, and then we won't for a year. So it's been us.
What do they say? You don't want to be building shelter on a rainy day.
Yeah, true that.
So 46 climbs. We're just raising awareness for mental health and suicide prevention. So check out the website. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, the link will be in the description, and I'll be sharing it. Thanks, Teddy.
Awesome.
So Teddy, you sent us some books. The Obstacle is the Way.
Yeah.
And the Daily Stoic.
Two of my favorites.
Two of his favorites. And he said the impediment to action is action.
The impediment to action advances action.
Okay.
The obstacle is the way.
Mm-hmm.
When we come to a challenge in our lives, the way to approach it is that, hey, when we overcome this challenge, we're going to be in a better place than we were prior to that challenge ever being in our lives.
Yeah.
That challenge is going to catapult us to further success.
Yeah.
So when we come to a hardship, we know that just working at improving the situation, advancing, that is the way.
Yeah. I see things that way too. I find like I'm going to be better after this. But what about like seeking the obstacle versus seeking like the easier path? Did you ever think about that? Like, this way is easier, but this way might be harder. You ever find yourself seeking out an obstacle?
Yeah. Constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have
Tell me about that.
Especially like in my physical exercise realm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have a hard time just sitting still and not doing things.
Mm-hmm.
I want to wake up at 5 a.m. and I want to get to the gym and crush a hard workout.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to just, go and get the bicep curl machines and the triceps.
Yeah. I hear you.
But I think that the same is true for, I don't know, everything. It's kind of hard to just kick back on the couch. I don't think you're that sort of person either.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was going to be curious what you said, because for me, I don't feel like my mind works that great unless I'm staying active and really pushing myself, like doing something hard. So
I'll tell you real quick.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I have never been a fan of like going to a dinner party and sitting down and like having conversation where we're just like static. I would way rather go out for a hike,
Right.
and like kind of chat, or be out in the yard tossing a football around and have a chat. I feel like my mind is more active when I'm moving and when I'm doing things.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, like I feel like sometimes what could be best for my body, like working out or something, isn't always like what I'm seeking from like a mental stimulus like perspective. I'm like, I should probably just like kind of beat myself up. I'm kind of like need some rest. But then I'm also on the other hand like, I was like, I'm probably gonna drop into a flow state with work way better if I just go on a jog. Or so for me, like cross training has been so helpful, because if I do like the same thing all the time and I'm pushing it, I feel like I end up tweaking stuff, or I don't feel like I'll hurt something. But when I'm doing like lots of different things and pushing myself, I feel like I can access that level of intensity more frequently, and it doesn't like harm me per se.
I totally vibe with that. I completely get that. Yeah.
There we go. So
And I don't know what Jocko Willink, is that his name?
yeah. So
No,
I don't know if you pronounced it right, but that's a guy.
The guy, right?
I know the guy. Extreme ownership.
Extreme ownership. He says discipline equals freedom. I think that's
Yeah.
pretty true. Right? If we're like doing hard things consistently, then it frees up the rest of our lives.
Yeah. I also like what he said about, I heard him talk about he doesn't plan like off days from he's like, life's going to happen. I'm going to have to take days off.
Right.
He's like, so if I plan days off and then I have to take days off, he's like, I'm probably taking off too many days. So he's like, I just plan on waking up and doing it, and then sometimes shit happens. And I completely relate to that. Like being here in Hawaii, sometimes I wake up, it's 4 a.m, and I planned on getting out on the water or getting a workout in, but I find out there's fire I got to put out with something work related, or every once in a while, even like maybe family, someone wants to chat or connect, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do this now. Like, and I'm like, knowing that I'm planning to just live that way. It's not like I have like some exercise split I have to stick to or something like that. I'm just doing it for my mental health.
And I feel like it's like I'm in the mind of like always trying to like optimize, take the right supplements, get enough sleep, exercise the right way, eat the right stuff, and then it's like I'm optimizing. But then other times, like last night, I was out at a concert and up until 11 o'clock, and then woke up at 4 o'clock to come here. Like, this is also good practice of like, hey, I gotta, when I'm a little sleep deprived, also be able to function at a high level. So this is like good practice too.
There we go. He chose the obstacle last night by going to a concert the night before our hike. Yeah. Awesome, bro. Thanks for sharing. Teddy and I went on an adventure with my wife, Jana. We went to Hana, and lots of time in the car that day. We started talking about different philosophies, and Jana was sharing some of her perspective on Stoicism. And they're like most things that become super popular, they get commercialized and misinterpreted, or they have a stigma that gets associated with the ideology of the philosophy. But so Jana was open to learning about more of the nuance after our conversation with Teddy, because the stigma vibe that Jana has around the Stoicism, and the stigma I had around it, I like it, but almost like shyly like Stoicism, because I feel like people think it's like a hard ass thing. So
Mainstream now, it's not cool anymore.
yeah. It's basically when something gets mainstream, I like get shy about that I was ever into it. I just noticed. But yeah, the nuance of it, where it's really not about pretending like we don't have emotions, or just shoving everything down and carrying on with it, but there's a lot of there's a lot more to it once I started reading the Obstacle is the Way, the Daily Stoic, and a while ago I started to read Meditations from Marcus Aurelius. I believe that's the author. I don't know I was actually trying to think of whose translation it was, but yeah, and there's a lot more to it, so check it out. It's groovy stuff. What is the poem Fern Hill, and who is the author? Famous 1945 poem written by Welsh Dylan Thomas.
Dylan Thomas, yeah.
So sick.
Right?
Fern Hill basically keeps referencing green and golden, and time held me green and golden.
Time held me green and golden.
Yeah. And then, basically at the beginning of the poem, it's the author is youthful and not realizing how time is passing us by. And then as the poem progresses on, the author begins to realize that we're sort of a prisoner of time.
Mm-hmm.
We're trapped by time. And then probably 3/4 of the way through the poem, he says, time holds me green and dying. And then at the end of the poem, it says, but I sang in my chains like the sea. And when I sit here and think of that, like, even though we're a prisoner of time, I'm still going to be relentless. I'm going to be loving every second of it, joyous.
Yeah. I like that. Sang like the chains in the sea. Did you bring this poem up yesterday? Oh, I thought this one might have been one Grandpa Bill recited recently.
Grandpa Bill is the one who shared that poem with me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he brings it up often over the last 4 or 5 years. He likes to sit and talk about certain aspects of it.
It's a longer one, huh?
Probably his favorite. And then the Mary Oliver poem that I brought up there, A Summer Day.
Summer Day by Mary Oliver.
Yeah, that's another great one. And the last line is,
I'm gonna butcher it. What will you do with this one? It's not beautiful. What will you do with this one beautiful and precious life?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying the wrong word. Another great poem.
Summer Day by Mary Oliver and Fern Hill by Dylan Thomas. Two poems here I need to revisit. So the vibe of the one Summer Day, it's about making the most of things as well, or different? Like what emotion, when you think of the poem, what is it? What emotion comes up?
I would say the vibe of that poem is also joy. Also,
Joy.
that like, our time on Earth is finite, and things are going to go on with us or without us, whether we are happy or sad, and that we sort of have we do have the ability to paint situations with our own color. When we, choose if we're going to be happy or sad. And we're here for a short time, so we should choose to be happy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard not to be looking at all this right now. And we got the ocean singing. How does it put in the other poem how the ocean sings?
And I sang in my chains like the sea.
And I sang in my chains like the sea.
My friend who passed away, I was talking to her mom recently, and her mom said that she has this belief that we all have a finite amount of energy, and Kate just lived with such passion and gave her all to everything she did that she just used all of hers up. And most of us, just kind of live life using bits and pieces here and there, but she just gave everything her all. So she moved to Hawaii to follow her passion of doing artwork and pottery. And I was just wondering, like, if you're going to follow your passion, what is your passion?
My passion is to find my highest potential and through doing so, help others.
Okay.
And teach and encourage, uplift, and empower other people. So I feel like that's what I try to do for myself each day. And most of what I feel like I can share with others is something I'm trying to do for myself and have been for a while. I feel like I'm very competent in that. And in the work that Jan and I do, she was a massage therapist and yoga teacher prior to starting her business, prior to working in the marketing business. And I was teaching kids basketball. So my first business was teaching basketball skills and strength to kids. So
Nice.
You helped me recognize that I'm still coaching and teaching.
I think so. Yeah.
But
I think that you coach me to help with the website and marketing strategies, and I feel like I'm getting guidance from you every time we connect.
yeah, thank you. There's a part of me that thinks I'm working to free myself up to do more coaching. Like, I like coaching the marketing and the business stuff, but it definitely feels more like work. But teaching kids basketball or how to lift weights and breathing exercises and yoga feels way more like play. So
Yeah, totally.
yeah, I'd say my passion is definitely with collaboration. I really love helping others and setting team goals and reaching them together, and even individual goals and helping each other reach them.
That's funny that you said collaborator, because when I asked the question, I was thinking of you as a collaborator and a catalyst. You just fuel the fire of businesses to help them grow.
Thanks, bro.
Oh, man.
Appreciate that.
All right. I got the poem for you.
You got the poem. Okay,
Yeah.
let's hear it.
So I asked Grandpa Bill a couple years ago if he had heard this poem, and he just looks me in the eyes, recites it word for word.
Who made
I've always
the
loved it.
world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, the one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last, and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?
Wild and precious. I was saying beautiful and precious.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
I've definitely heard that one. Been a long time. What are you going to do with your wild and precious life? This perfect timing bringing the poem back in, because you asked me a great question about what my passion in life is, and I'd love to hear what your passion is, how you would describe it.
I would say two things. First one, raising good kids. Has definitely been a newfound passion of mine. It's just so much fun to watch our kids grow and learn and evolve as humans. So that is, I would say, passion number one. But my longer term passion, I think, has been, broadly speaking, to help others. Professionally, it's been, to physically help others out of pain. But I mean, I can't even tell you how many times a physical therapy session has turned into helping somebody fold their laundry, or jumpstart their car, or just yesterday I was working with somebody, and their wife came in. She's like, "Oh yeah, I did something to my neck and it's been really bugging me, and you don't happen to do KT taping, do you?" I'm like, "Well, she's not a client of mine, but she's hurting and I have the tape right here, so yeah, get on the tape." So just little things like that to help people, to contribute to society, to be useful.
I like that.
Yeah. I recently heard somebody saying that, when we're considering our profession, it shouldn't be we shouldn't be considering income or finances first. We should be considering being a useful part of society, and then money will be a byproduct of that. And I've always felt that way. That's why I got into my profession. It's definitely not being a physical therapist isn't the way to make $1 million, but it's definitely the way to help a lot of people and connect with a lot of people and hopefully do good things.
Yeah, totally. I relate to that. I feel like that's how I ended up doing what I do now. I mean, I went to college and graduated with a bachelor's in accounting, and but then the jobs that I decided to take on when I was interviewing, I don't think I realized at the time, but there were the ones where I felt like I was being of service and helping people, and they were still drifting back towards like sports and teaching and things like that felt more meaningful to me, felt more necessary in society.
Yeah.
I guess subconsciously maybe I felt like there were enough bean counters out there to take care of all that, and everything would get accounted for without me.
Yeah. So very similarly, I was in school for business finance, and I was playing football, and I hurt my shoulder. And at this time in my life, I was going to my first business internship, and I was hating every second of it. I kind of felt like a swindler. I was just like, I couldn't imagine myself doing this the rest of my life. And then I would leave my internship and I would go to physical therapy for my shoulder. And I had a really cool PT. And I remember every time I go in there, I'm like, man, these guys are all enjoying their life. They're helping people, and they're, making money doing it. I think I want to do this.
Yeah.
So then I decided, I was a sophomore at the time, and rather than minoring in like econ or international business, like a lot of my classmates were, I minored in clinical health studies. So I got all my prereqs for PT school.
Okay, cool.
It was like, that was the time I realized I'm not going to be in business. I'm going to be in healthcare.
Worked up quite the little appetite, and got a little warm out. Nice refreshing dip in a little pool. We gotta be careful in there. Current might suck you out, but just a quick little dip in the front. Nice and safe, nothing crazy. So we found a spot to cool off for a moment. Got a little warm.
Yeah.
There at the end.
Now we're a little salty.
A little salty. So my favorite moment from the adventure was when you asked me about what my passion is.
Yeah.
And it really brought to life some of what's most important to me and what excites me the most, because a lot of the last month has been a lot of logistics and work and planning, some family health stuff, things like that. So I've been really in my head, and it got me more in my heart. So I want to say thanks for that.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for letting me fumble and stumble through some questions with it.
No one even noticed. We cut all that out. Same for me. But
Awesome. Thanks for going on a hike and getting in the ocean.
totally. So this is Teddy with Island PT. I was about to say your full name, then I was like, I don't know if
My government name?
your government.
William Robert Theodore.
I'm here with William Robert
Billy Bob,
Theodore
Ted Zob.
Zabel. Billy Bob, Ted Zob, me out here in Maui. But Teddy's helped me with my back. He has a business, Island PT, on Instagram. You'll be able to check it out in the link. And yeah, if you want to work with someone who's just super awesome, or we have some causes that are important to us, one of which today, 46 Climb, or Climb 46, that we're bringing awareness to. Check that out and go on a walk, summit a mountain, do something cool to bring awareness to mental health and suicide prevention. September 4th to the 13th.
Yeah. Get outside, do some hard stuff.